Hey everybody, it's Tyler here at OG Gamers Live, OG Gamers World, and we're back. And we're gonna look at the ASRock Phantom Gaming RX 7900 XT. And I want to say it was going to be a fast video or a quick video, but I don't think it's going to be because I don't have anybody here to make the graphs and charts for me, and I do not have the software or the patience to do it myself. And I really don't have a budget to go online and hire somebody. So we're going to try to get through this as best we can, and hopefully it'll make sense. Uh, Let me start off by saying that all the testing is done in the default settings out of the box. There's no overclocking or tweaking or tuning or anything like that going on. And the test bench is my AMD 5900X, 32 gigabytes of DDR4 PC 3600 RAM, and in this case, like I said, the ASRock Phantom Gaming RX 7900 XT. And most of the stuff that we cover later will be using that same computer, with one exception, and we'll get to that when we get to it. Anyway, we're going to start off by I'll show you the video of where I did the best benchmarks, and then we'll get right back into what all this means. Okay, we're going to start off with Night Raid, and you notice that the 5900X and the AMD RX 7900 XT scored a 65,617. And we're gonna scroll on down here and find the 3090 Ti. The 3090 Ti scored a 66,666, and that was again using the same system, the 5900X. And you'll see coming all the way back down here using the same system, the ARC A770 scored a 63,126, beating out an AMD Ryzen Threadripper 3960X and an RTX 3090. But let's come back up here to the elephant in the room, and that's this one right here on Night Raid. This was my Intel Balance build, scoring a 67,911, beating out both, or I should say, beating out the 3090, the 3090 Ti, and the 7900 XT. Let's come down here to Firestrike, and there's going to be a whole bunch of different tests in here to go over it, because I ran all of them. Let's just find the one for this particular build. That's this one right here, the AMD Ryzen 5900X using the AMD RX 7900 XT. We scored a 42,928. Let's come down here to the 3090 Ti. It did beat the 3090 Ti by about 1,800 points. Okay, the next was Firestrike Extreme. It scored a 28,860. Again, beating out the 3090, the 3090 Ti, and the RK 770. And it scored a 16,295 in Firestrike Ultra. And I don't know if I have any more Ultras in here because I don't think I ran them back then. I do not. Let's look at Time Spy. It did barely beat out the 3090 Ti with a score of 21,218. And in Time Spy Extreme, it scored at 11,356. Again, beating out the 3090 Ti. Let's go to Port Royal. We're going to come all the way down here to the bottom. Going all the way back to the Threadripper build with the 3090, that build scored a 13,269. This particular build running the 3090 Ti scored a 15,395. The RK 770 scored a 7,585. The 2070 Super was low man on the board there, scoring a 5,952. The AMD Ryzen 7950X 3D build using the 700 XT only scored a 14,991. And like I said, this particular card in this system using a 5900X and a 700 XT scored a 13,784. So I hope that makes sense. But the thing, well, the one thing that stood out for me there was, depending on what I was doing, the 3090 Ti was a better card, and then in other things, the 700 XT was a little bit better card. The one surprise was not RAID, which to this day nobody's managed to beat that Intel balanced build. That one right there, 67,911. I'm not sure why it did so well on that test. One of the other things I want to bring up is this card, by all accounts, is supposed to be a 300-watt board. In most of my testing, it averaged about 320 watts, but I did notice while I was rendering out and denoising some video that board, in fact, was pulling up to 466 watts. And at the time I did the screenshot, you can see right there it was pulling 388 watts. And that boost clock, for some reason, had got all the way up to 2928. And that was, again, a surprise. I thought that may have just been something going on with the monitoring software, but that was not, in fact, the case. Later on that night, I was gaming and streaming 3440 by 1440p, both in-game and stream, and I noticed that card was, in fact, pulling on average about 412 watts. So that is something to be aware of. I don't know if it's just this one particular card or if that's more common than people are talking about. The idle draw has been a topic of conversation many times. I think there's already a fix out for that, and I'll go research that later. I'm not really worried about that so much right now because very rarely is my computer idling. Yeah. Oh, what else? I guess we'll kind of wrap it up right here. And I don't have all the answers. The software installed easy enough. Everything was easy to find. The first thing I did when I got it installed was go turn on AMD's noise suppression and set that up, because that's a feature that we do not have with the Intel Arc cards at all, is noise suppression. And I missed that with being used to it with the 3090 Ti and Nvidia's RTX broadcast. I have to have it for this environment out here. because it's really noisy in here. And then, yeah, my dog is sick and he's always coughing and hacking and wheezing and making noise. So I was really missing that noise suppression or noise removal, depending on what you want to call it. Anyway, like I said, I don't have all the answers, but if you have questions, drop them in the comment section. And if I don't know the answer, I will do my best to find one for you. That's what I'm here for. Till next time, this is Vitali over at OG Gamers Live, OG Gamers World. Y'all stay safe wherever you are in the world today, and we're out of here.